Desmond, are you still at work?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm sorry, I should have called you earlier to let you know. It looks like it will be another late night tonight.
Again? It seems like you've been working late a lot lately.
I know. I wish I could head home now. But it shouldn't be like this for too much longer. Another department fell behind with a major project, and they've asked my department to step in and help out where we can.
Oh, I see. Well, I was really messaging you just to let you know about a few things that are going on at home.
What's going on?
Well, Madeline brought her fiancé over to meet us today. He seems like a really nice young man. I wish you could have been here to meet him.
Wait, her fiancé?
Yes, her fiancé. Logan?
I didn't know that they were engaged.
Anyways, we ate at a steak restaurant downtown. It was a little pricey, but I think I deserved the treat and I wanted to do something nice for them.
Why is this the first time I'm hearing about this?
I could have sworn I told you about it. Madeline told me that they would be coming over a few days ago.
You never said a word about it. If I had known, I would have made sure to take at least a few hours off to celebrate with them.
I don't get why you were making a big deal out of this. It doesn't really matter if you meet him or not.
What do you mean?
Well, Madeline is only your stepdaughter after all. Her real father was there to meet him, and that's all that really matters.
I mean, of course he should be a part of it too. I'm not saying he shouldn't be a part of her life or anything. But I have been a part of her life for the past 15 years. We have a good relationship. I think of her as if she were my own daughter. I want to be there for her for big moments like this. I hope that she thought of me as a father too.
Don't talk nonsense. You are too sentimental, Desmond. Why would she think of you as her father when she already has one?
Why would you say that?
I thought you knew. She meets with him from time to time. From the way she talks about it, it sounds like they have really repaired their relationship since she was younger.
I see.
I have met with him a few times myself. I was surprised at first at how much he has changed from when we were married. Talking to him reminds me of when I was young and madly in love.
What are you saying? As far as Madeline goes, it doesn't bother me if she's been meeting with her biological father. I hope she is able to have a great relationship with him. But I was the one who raised her since she was 6 years old, and I know that we have a good relationship too.
Think whatever you like. That doesn't make it true. She just sees you as an ATM.
No, that's not true.
It's about time that you knew the truth, so I am just going to be blunt about it. When we met, I was a single mother with no money. I was barely able to make ends meet. When I met you, it was like a godsend. Here was a man with a great salary and fell head over heels for me almost instantly. I never felt much for you, but I knew that marrying you meant that me and my daughter could live comfortable lives.
Just an ATM. You only married me so that you didn't have to worry about money? All this time, the entire 15 years we have spent together, has all been based on my salary?
Of course it has. You're no great catch other than that. All I wanted was a slave to make me enough money so that I would never have to worry again.
That's all I am to you. A slave?
Like I said, there was no real reason to marry you other than that. You aren't all that good looking. And frankly, you try too hard to be romantic. It's kind of pathetic sometimes. But now that Madeline is provided for, I can finally be honest about how I feel. It's such a relief to finally say how I feel. I really never thought that Alex would amount to anything after we divorced. But a friend of mine told me a while back that they heard he had started his own business. Turns out that business is really successful, and he is making piles of money now. I thought that Madeline would like to get to know her real father again, so I contacted him and set up a time for us all to meet. I believe she is going to invite him to the wedding. Isn't it wonderful?
That much I knew.
Oh. How did you find out?
Madeline talked to me about it a few weeks ago.
Well, if you already know, then I guess there's not much left to say. After Madeline's wedding, I want a divorce, okay?
A divorce? How can you say that so easily? I get that our marriage has meant something different to you than it has to me. But seriously?
Look, I don't want any drama about it. I've said what I needed to say. I'm going to go take a bath and get some sleep.
Hang on a second.
Good night.
Hey, Madeline. Do you have a minute?
Dad! I was just about to text you.
Why? Did something happen?
Yesterday happened. I thought you were going to be at dinner to meet Logan. Why didn't you show? Or even call to say you couldn't make it? Mom said that she told you about it and that you promised to be there on time. I know your work is important and you've had to work a lot of overtime lately. But I thought you really wanted to meet Logan.
No, that's not what happened. I promise.
What do you mean? Why else wouldn't you have been there?
I mean, yes, I was working overtime yesterday evening. It was after 11 p.m. when I finally made it home. But I didn't know that you were bringing Logan to dinner or that there even was a dinner.
I don't understand. Mom said she told you about it. She told me you knew about it for weeks.
I'm sorry, Madeline. She never said anything at all to me about it until after the fact.
Oh no. I was afraid she was going to pull something like this. She was acting strange with Alex last night. She always pulls stuff like this, trying to manipulate people, make everything about her. I really thought that she would just let me have my wedding day without the drama. But I guess that was too much to hope for. But Dad, I'm not a little girl anymore. When she does stuff like this, please talk to me. Especially when it's about me.
I will. But try not to worry about me, okay? I would still like to meet Logan, though. Do you and him have some time that we could get together soon?
That would be great. I know Logan would like to meet you as well. I've told him how my mom can be sometimes, so he understands.
He sounds like a very nice young man. I look forward to meeting him. But look, I need to talk to you about your mom first.
What about her? Did something else happen?
I think it would be better to talk about this in person rather than over text. It would be great if Alex could come too. This concerns him as well.
Really? Why does it concern him?
Let's pick a time to meet and I promise I'll tell you everything. There's something I need to handle and I would like your help with it. After we talk, you can decide how much to tell Logan.
That sounds pretty serious. I don't like keeping secrets from Logan.
It is pretty serious, but you don't have to keep any secrets you don't want to. I'm sorry for being so vague and cryptic. I just think it's best we talk about this face to face.
The way you're talking is frightening me a little. But I get it. How about we meet for lunch next Saturday? I already have plans to see Logan that night, so I can talk to him after we meet.
That works for me. Do you mind talking to Alex about being there too?
I will.
Okay then. I'll see you then.
See you Saturday. Hey, Dad. It was nice seeing you today.
It was. Thank you for taking the time to come meet me for lunch. I know it wasn't the happiest of conversations. I wish we could have met just to catch up. But I was worried that if we didn't talk about this now, what's about to happen would make things even worse between us.
Don't worry. I completely understand. I still can't believe that Mom would actually say something like that to you. I know how she can be, but that's just cruel.
I can't tell you how relieved I am to hear you say that. Even if I do hate the thought of driving a wedge between you and your mom. Have you had time to talk to Logan yet?
Yeah, I talked to him.
What did he say?
He was pretty angry at my mom when he heard. He says he feels the same way I do and thinks we should do what you suggested.
Good. It sounds like he is a very understanding and kind person. I'm glad you met someone like him. I'm sure the two of you will be very happy together.
Thank you. Today is the day. My little girl gets married today. Everything is going to be better after today. I feel like a weight is being lifted off of my shoulders. I wonder if Alex will take me back after we are divorced. He never wanted to divorce me in the first place. I guess I'm just one of those people who men fall madly in love with.
I wish you good fortune with that. I filed the divorce papers at the courthouse a few days ago. It shouldn't take too long to get finalized.
You sent them already? I thought we were going to wait until after Madeline's wedding.
You said you wanted it done right after the wedding. This way, there is no time wasted. I'm also going to be really busy for the next week, so I wanted to get it taken care of before then.
Oh, okay then. I suppose I can understand that. But what are you suddenly going to be busy with? More work projects?
I just arrived in Hawaii this morning.
Hawaii?
Yeah, I didn't say anything because I thought there was no need for you to know, since we were getting a divorce and all.
Well, sure. But you've never been the kind of person to go on a trip, much less a trip to Hawaii, without saying something. I'm a little surprised at you. I saw you the day before yesterday and you didn't say a word about going anywhere.
Like I said, I didn't think it concerned you. By the way, when I get back from my vacation, I will be moving straight into my new house. There may be some movers coming by to move my things while I'm gone.
You found a place already?
I did. I'm transferring to a different office in another state. It made sense to me to head straight to the new house after my vacation rather than returning to the old house. Plus, it lessens the amount of time that we have to be in each other's presence and look each other in the face.
Well, that's a little harsh. If I didn't know any better, I'd say you have been planning this moment for a while. But it's fine. It's better to get this over with as smoothly as possible so we can both go our separate ways.
My thoughts exactly.
Well, I expect that we won't have much to say to each other after this. So I suppose this is goodbye. You did a wonderful job as my obedient little ATM these past 15 years. Madeline's real father is going to be at her wedding tomorrow, so there's no need for you to come. You would only make everyone uncomfortable.
I have no doubt that Madeline's wedding will be spectacular. Considering that it's going to take place here in Hawaii, that is.
What?
What?
What do you mean, Hawaii?
That's why I'm here. To be here for Madeline's wedding.
Excuse me? Are we talking about the same Madeline?
Of course. I don't know any others.
I don't understand. Since when is her wedding going to be in Hawaii?
Since she and Logan agreed to have it here.
You must be out of your mind. There's no way she would go to Hawaii and not tell me. She's at the hotel getting ready for the ceremony. I'll prove it.
That's actually true. In a way. She is at the hotel getting ready for the wedding ceremony. She's just at a hotel here in Hawaii.
You can't be serious.
I feel for you. This is probably a tough way to find out. Too late and too far away to make it in time. But don't worry. Alex and I will walk her down the aisle together.
Alex is there too?
Madeline wanted him here. Isn't that what you wanted? For them to have a better relationship?
Well, yes. But what about me? I'm her mother. How could you leave me behind? How could she leave me behind? I raised her. I gave birth to her. I deserve to be there. Not you.
She didn't want you here.
What?
I have to go. It's almost time.
Wait a second. Hey! Answer me! Desmond! Are you finally back? We need to talk. Actually, you need to explain yourself.
You're right. Now that the divorce is finalized, there are a few things I've kept quiet that it's time to get out in the open.
Kept quiet?
First of all, you did not reunite Madeline and Alex. I did.
How so?
Alex's company is one of my company's clients. We met a few years back at a business meeting.
2 years ago? And you never said anything?
At first, we had no idea who each other was outside of business. But the more we talked, he mentioned his daughter and ex-wife, and eventually we put 2 and 2 together. He told me that he would like to meet Madeline sometime. He didn't seem anything like the alcoholic that you described, so I figured he had been in recovery and gotten his life together. I arranged for them to meet and then stayed out of their business for the most part.
You still haven't explained why you didn't tell me about any of this.
I didn't dare tell you any of it.
But why?
Your daughter is an adult now. She is capable of making her own choices and deciding who she wants to include in the things that are important to her. And she has come to realize that she can't trust you. You have a tendency to make everything about you, regardless of what that means for other people.
What is that supposed to mean?
Well, I'm partly referring to the affair that you had 2 years ago with a man half your age.
What? What affair? I would never do something like that.
Deny it all you like, Julia. I had a feeling that you weren't being entirely faithful. So I hired a private detective to uncover the truth for me. When I found out, I wished that I had never gone looking. I continued to be your obedient slave, pumping out cash whenever you demanded. I loved you so much, Julia. I would have overlooked so much just to have you with me. But I'm done now.
Desmond.
I contacted the man you had your affair with. He is willing to come forward as a witness in case you want to try and get alimony out of me in the divorce.
You contacted him? How did you even find him? I haven't spoken to him in years. You can't do that. I'm used to a certain way of life. You can't just take that from me.
By the way, my attorney should be coming by the house today.
Today? Why?
Actually, he will probably be there soon. I forgot about the time difference. He will be delivering a letter from Alex. If I remember correctly, the letter demands that you stay away from him and his new family. He is remarried now and has a child with his new wife. It also is intended to remind you that he is fully aware of the affairs that you had while you were together.
You're lying. You have to be.
Well, this is goodbye, Julia. I don't want to hear from you again.
Desmond! Talk to me! Please, don't do this!
The lawyer delivered the letter a few minutes after I last talked to Julia. Then she tried to get in touch with me through Madeline when I wouldn't answer her phone calls anymore. Logan intercepted the phone call and put an end to the harassment. He listened to her rant and tell her side of the story for a little while, and then politely shut her down. He told her that it was over for her, and to never contact Madeline again unless she had something kind and unselfish to add to their lives. She moved to a new house after that and changed her number. She didn't tell me where she was going or how to get in touch with her, and I don't really care. Her parents passed away a few years after we got married, so she is entirely on her own now. An old friend contacted me saying they saw her living on the streets. She never worked the whole time we were married, so she had trouble getting a job. She started working at a convenience store to make ends meet and get scolded by teenagers younger than her daughter. Her clothes and hair look tattered, and she seems to have aged decades in the past few months.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe to get notifications for the next video.
I'm getting pretty tired of the same old menu all the time. Aren't you able to come up with any new ideas already? We should be able to provide our guests with unique dishes all the time so that we stand out from our competitors.
Hello, Barbara. I hope you're doing well. I have several new dishes that I want to add to our menu, but Benjamin still hasn't given his approval on any of them yet.
Oh, but my Benny's always so busy. You must know that by now. He's not able to take that much time out of his schedule to accommodate you. Maybe you need to think of a better way to propose your ideas to him. Isn't there a way to get his approval without wasting any of his precious time?
Of course, I try to keep that in mind when I share my ideas with him. But if he wants to taste everything before adding any new dishes to our menu, I want to make sure that he can enjoy it in the most delicious state. So I always accommodate his schedule to work out a good time for him to come to the restaurant. But unfortunately, he rarely comes at the time that we agreed on.
What are you trying to say? Are you trying to imply that Benny is to blame for this?
Absolutely not. But I just don't know what more we can do.
He probably knows that your cooking is nothing worth putting on our menu anyways. That's why he doesn't want the extra burden of having to travel all the way there only to have a disappointing meal. Why don't you come up with a dish that we would actually enjoy?
I'm confident that all the dishes that I've come up with are quite delicious and that our regular customers would enjoy them very much. So that's why it's important that Benjamin keeps his word about our meeting time. That way I can time the meal preparation accordingly, and he'll be able to enjoy the dish as it's meant to be served. I know that I've had to ask him to avoid visiting the restaurant during our busy time. There's not much more we can do unless Benjamin is also willing to give us the same kind of courtesy.
You have no right to blame Benny. Obviously, it just means that you're not putting in enough effort. You've been working for us for a long time now, right? I hope you don't think that it gives you any right to demand anything, just because you've spent more time at the restaurant than anyone else.
Of course not. I absolutely don't think that, and I'm sorry if you may have gotten the wrong impression.
Besides, why should my Benny have to accommodate your schedule in the first place? He can't just appear at the restaurant when you call for him. I've told you that he's an extremely busy man. You should at least have enough consideration to offer going to him when he can accommodate you.
That's not really ideal, since I can't leave the restaurant unattended. I know that there are other staff who are more than capable of managing everything, but it's my duty as head chef to oversee everything. And whenever Benjamin calls to say that he can meet me, it's almost always during our busy time. So, unfortunately, I've had to turn him down on several occasions because I was unable to leave.
Oh, so what you're saying is that Benny has offered to meet with you, but you've been ignoring him. He says that he's able to see you when he calls, right? So, why don't you just take him up on his offer right then? What are you doing instead?
Of course, I'm working in the kitchen to make sure that all the orders get prepared in time, with hardly even a moment to catch my breath. And whenever Benjamin has called in the past, it's always during our lunch or dinner rush, so I'm usually not able to even take his call. I've asked him repeatedly to avoid calling during those times, but perhaps he just forgets.
That's ridiculous! When he calls, you should pick up. What's so difficult about that? Benny is giving you such an easy opportunity to redeem yourself and to prove that your skills as a chef are worthy enough for his restaurant. But you still choose to ignore him? That's just too bad for you then.
But what can you expect? I've been told that my job at the restaurant should be top priority at all times, no matter what. Especially with the limited staff that we have. Everyone must pull their weight to make sure that everything runs properly. I know that I brought this up with you and Benjamin more than once before, but it still remains an issue for us. We have nowhere near the number of staff that we need.
That's just nonsense. If we bring in any more staff, our overall profit will go down for sure. And you've always been able to manage somehow with this number, so I don't really see what the big problem is. Besides, it's not your position to make these kinds of decisions. Who do you think pays your salary?
I'm very much aware of that, but we're also working at full capacity all the time. There's barely even any time to take a break. I'm just asking that you consider our situation and rethink your decision about hiring more staff.
Well, unfortunately, it just seems to me that you're looking for someone else to blame for your lack of skill as head chef. And there must be something wrong with your sense of taste if Benny hasn't approved any of your new menu ideas. I'm starting to think that I've made a mistake in appointing you as head chef. Perhaps I need to rethink leaving the restaurant operation up to you anymore. If we want the restaurant to run more smoothly and efficiently, perhaps the first step is getting rid of you.
What? After all these years, is that really how you think of me? Have I not made any positive impact on the restaurant's business?
Oh, don't flatter yourself. Perhaps you need a harsh reality check. So let me be honest with you. The only reason that you're the head chef now is because you've been with us longer than anyone else. We've only kept you for all these years out of compassion.
I see. I sort of had the feeling that was the case. So I guess my assumption was correct. What can I say? I mean, I've dedicated the past 10 years to this restaurant. If I say that I'm not disappointed, that would be a lie.
You want to call yourself head chef, but you're not even able to come up with a new menu that's satisfactory? Don't forget that we can get rid of you at any time. I'm sure we'll find a better replacement right away. Keep that in mind and put more effort into what you do.
Yes, I'm sorry. And I assure you that I'll put in more effort than ever before. I'm very sorry for messaging you this late, but I just wanted to follow up on the menu proposal from the other day. When would you be able to come in and taste it? If you approve of it after the sample, I'd like to put it on our seasonal menu right away. Oh, that's right. I completely forgot about that. My bad. You know, I just graduated from college and it's my first year in the real world, so I've been really busy. Besides, I'd much rather be hanging out with my friends right now than having to taste some hoity-toity pretentious food all the time. I mean, why don't you try putting some wings on the menu or something? Well, I can certainly take that under consideration. Listen, I don't want to keep you from doing what you want, but I'm sure that you're well aware of this restaurant's rules. No new dishes will be added to the menu without your approval first. I know that. But you said something about using eggplant in the new dish, which I hate. I don't even want to try it, to be honest. So I might have been unconsciously avoiding arranging a time to try it. I'm sorry that it's not a favorite of yours, but eggplant is in season right now and really delicious. I tried to replace it with a different vegetable that you're more likely to enjoy, but nothing else really brought all the flavors and textures together like the eggplant. We've also been getting requests from many of our regular customers that they would like to try some dishes using eggplant. However, since we always avoid using any ingredients that aren't to your liking, there's a bit of imbalance towards the ones that we keep including. So why would you include eggplant in the new menu idea now? I've hated eggplant since I was a kid. Is this some kind of payback towards me? Absolutely not. But if we keep using only the ingredients that you enjoy, I feel like our menu will be somewhat biased. I just thought that it would be better to include a variety of seasonal ingredients in our dishes, so that we can meet our customers' requests. But it's not a really tempting offer for me. I have to go all the way to the restaurant only to be forced to eat something that I know I'll hate. Don't worry, I've already taken that into consideration, and prepared the dish so the non-eggplant lovers can enjoy it as well. I spent a lot of time experimenting with all the different flavors, so you won't be disappointed with what I've come up with. And I can assure you that it's delicious. Really? But it's not going to turn me into an eggplant lover overnight. I'm still going to hate it afterwards. Besides, my mom never made me eat anything I didn't like. Why should I have to do that for you? You're trying to force me to try it, no matter how many times I've told you that. I won't. You're just being a bully now. I never knew that you were so mean. I'm sorry. That isn't my intention at all. I was just thinking about our customers and wanting to please them first and foremost. Sure, whatever. Anyways, I don't have anything planned for today, so I guess I can go over to the restaurant. I'll be there around noon, so make sure that you have everything ready. Wait, no, that's right in the middle of our lunch rush. I won't be able to properly serve you then. Are you able to come after our lunchtime? What? So you're trying to give me orders now? Don't you know how busy I am? I'm already going out of my way to make time for you. In that case, I'll never go over there again. But there's a rumor that a very famous food critic will be in the area soon. It was mentioned in his blog recently. So we've been especially mindful of providing our best service to our customers these days, because who knows when that critic will be in here. He might even come here undercover, pretending to be a regular customer. And depending on his review of the restaurant, it'll have a huge impact on the number of people who come in here afterwards. That's how famous and influential he is. What does that even have to do with me? What difference will it make whether one food critic writes a review about us or not? All you have to do is serve delicious food, provide good service, and cater to the needs of the customers. Is it really that hard? You're right, of course. But in that case, please make sure that you keep your voice down while you're here. That's the one thing I'll ask that you promise. What do you mean by that? Well, you always like to make your presence known by raising your voice every time you're here. But that kind of rowdiness, especially during business hours, is more of an annoyance than anything. Of course, you can make all the noise you want as long as there are no customers. Are you telling me what to do again? Really, you're too full of yourself. You better not forget who you're talking to. I'm sorry if I was out of line, but it's something that affects the restaurant's image, so I thought that it should be my duty as head chef to let you know. Whatever, just have that meal ready for me tomorrow. If the new dish that you're so proud of isn't as good as you say, you better be prepared for whatever comes next. Yes, I understand. I have full confidence in it. Don't worry.
Is it really true? I heard from Benny that your new dish includes eggplant as one of the main ingredients. Why would you purposely use an ingredient that you know he hates? That's just cruel. And you want to call yourself head chef? A proper head chef should take into consideration the likes and dislikes of the customer.
Some of our regular customers have repeatedly asked that we include more vegetables on the menu, especially seasonal vegetables like eggplant. And I've always felt that we don't provide such a large variety of vegetables either, so I thought that this would be the perfect opportunity to do so. I'm sure that our customers will enjoy the new dish that I've come up with. And don't worry, I know that eggplant isn't a favorite for everyone, so I've arranged it in a way that even non-eggplant lovers will find it pleasant.
Oh, really? Because my son said that this so-called arranged recipe tasted terrible. He was hardly able to finish his plate.
That's not true, because I watched him finish everything on his plate except for the eggplant, and he seemed perfectly satisfied with the dish. But he was adamant about not even taking a bite of the eggplant because he doesn't like it. And of course, I couldn't force him to try it, so unfortunately, he left the eggplant untouched. So for now, it still remains undecided whether the new dish will be added to the menu or not.
Well, if you're not planning to replace the eggplant with something that tastes better, it's not going on the menu. At least that's what Benny told me. And of course, he has the final say in everything, especially because this is going to be Benny's restaurant soon.
What do you mean by that?
To be honest, I'm just downright disappointed in you. You're not suitable to be the head chef of our restaurant. We don't need you anymore. You're fired.
What? You don't really mean that, do you?
Of course I mean it. Who needs a head chef that's as unaccommodating as you? As a matter of fact, I've just decided that Benny will take over as the new head chef from tomorrow. And my decision is absolute. Don't even waste your time trying to change my mind. Today will be your last day working for us.
How could you?
Perhaps you need to go and refine your palate so you have a better sense of taste. Don't forget to leave your recipes and resignation letter on your way out. Oh, and you better leave the recipe for that new dish as well. I'm sure my Benny will come up with a delicious arrangement that will definitely satisfy our customers.
I see. Then I guess I have no other choice than to resign, if that's how you really feel about me. But keep in mind that I won't be coming back here ever again.
Don't be so full of yourself. We don't need anything from such an unskilled chef anyways.
You can forget all about me and do whatever you please.
Christian, where are you? You have to come back to the restaurant right away and get the kitchen back in order. Everything is such a mess right now.
Yes, so it seems. But remember that I no longer work there, so it has nothing to do with me anymore.
Don't act like it's not your problem. You knew this would be the outcome when you quit.
Sure, I had somewhat of an idea about what would happen. But I never imagined that your son would be that bad at cooking. I read the article about your restaurant on that food critics blog. He really tore into Benjamin and mocked everything about him. It was quite entertaining to read.
What article? What are you even talking about? I know nothing of any kind of food critic coming here, or any article written about our restaurant.
Really? Because I certainly mentioned it to Benjamin before. There were rumors that a very famous food critic was in the area. And it seems like he visited your restaurant today and already posted that hysterical article. He wrote that Benjamin's innovative cuisine was barely edible.
But he used your recipe. Why didn't it turn out the way it should? Maybe there was something wrong with your recipe.
No, he didn't actually follow my recipe. In fact, he tried to be creative in his own way and ended up serving an utter disaster. Those were the words of the food critics, not mine. But anyways, it also said that Benjamin replaced the eggplant with jalapeno poppers just because they're one of his favorite vegetables. The food critic wrote that he sat down with the chef and talked about the recipe as if they were old friends.
Wait, so you're saying that guy was the food critic, and he wrote that blog about us? But he was just talking and hardly touched his plate.
He's known to always finish everything on his plate because he thinks that that is the best kind of respect that he can give to the chef that prepared his meal. But I guess in this case, the food was so terrible that he couldn't bear to eat it. It really makes me wonder what Benjamin's sense of taste is like. Did he even taste his own cooking?
Wait, that food critic really wrote all of that in his blog? Won't that affect our business?
I would think so. Regardless, he's known to be pretty harsh in his reviews, so he never sugarcoats any of his comments. But his reviews are always reliable, so he has a large number of followers who take his reviews seriously. I know that the restaurants that he's criticized in the past lost about half of their customers because of his bad review.
Are you serious? Why did he have to come today?
Well, at least your restaurant has many regular customers, so I'm sure you'll be fine. But don't forget that I was the one who served all those regular customers over the years. You should be grateful for that.
Actually, even those so-called regular customers were insulting the cooking and started getting really angry. They demanded to see the head chef because nothing tasted the way it should. So I explained to them that we let you go. And you'll never believe what they did after I told them. They just got up and left, saying that they'll never be back ever again.
Isn't that too bad? I never realized they had become so loyal to me, but it also makes me very proud.
Come back here right now. I'll even give you your old position back.
No, I've actually been hired as the head chef at a different restaurant now. So I'm never going back there again.
What?
They've been trying to recruit me for a while now. But I've been refusing their offer because I had my duty there as a head chef. When you fired me, it gave me the perfect opportunity to finally accept their offer, so I've officially been hired by them now. I'll even start working in the kitchen tomorrow, so I'll be ready to serve the food critic whenever he comes.
I'll never allow that to happen. Get back here right now. If you're not here to manage the kitchen, this restaurant will go under.
It took you long enough to realize, but it's too late now. I gave your restaurant 10 loyal years of my career, but you refuse to acknowledge the positive impact that I've had as head chef. You continuously insulted me and pretty much gave me no other choice than to quit. As someone who runs a business, you should never feel entitled to look down on the people who work for you. Don't forget that we're just as dedicated as you to the restaurant's success. But if you don't appreciate our hard work, you're just paving the way for your own destruction. The next day, the food critic appeared at Christian's new restaurant, just as he predicted, and gave a rave review of his cooking. He also had a great laugh about the episode at Barbara's restaurant and left with a full stomach. Thanks to all the praise that Christian received in the food critic's review, and together with the ridiculous episode at his former workplace, he became quite famous among the blogger's fans. In fact, Christian's restaurant was such a great success that it was a much talked about topic for many years after that. And of course, he brought all of his loyal customers from his previous restaurant over to his new place, where they now continue to be his regular customers again. On the other hand, Barbara's restaurant never recovered from the terrible reviews and ended up going out of business shortly after. They never felt the need to show any appreciation to those who worked so hard to support their business. So it only makes sense that they ended up losing everything. They never lifted a finger, but always felt entitled to impose their one-sided opinions on everyone. They only got what they deserved in the end. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to see more content.